Greetings, fellow conquerors. This is darkfireslide, and welcome back to Great Britain here in EU4, where we are planning to embark on a most glorious war. One that will perhaps change the very foundation of the world as we know it. Holy crap, Spain has 14 cav in that stack. What are you doing, Spain? You can't even use that many cav. I mean, you can, but your fire value is just foobar. I guess it's none of my business, though. I'm not going to tell you how to run your army. Do you want to have 14 cav? Go right ahead. Alright, let's get, just getting more and more troops. I have way too many things open while I'm recording, by the way. Kind of a problem. Do we re-elect? I would like to re-elect. Get some more points. Yeah, let's re-elect. Let's do it. He's young. Augustus Cornwallis. Alright. And we are continuing to convert provinces, and our religious unity is going up accordingly. I would very much like to get the humanist idea soon. That raises our religious unity. Though that may be a little bit a long time in the coming, considering we are making 10 admin points a month. It's worth noting, which is quite nice. And I believe there's only one army left, and that is the Royal Army down here in Mali. Do we have any rebels at the moment? We have some reformed zealots, some Estonians, and some Riggans, but nothing too dangerous there. Now we do have to wait till 1483 before we can begin pursuing this war in earnest. The Tuscans have begun to win the war, but only because they own the war goal still. The Spanish do appear to be landlocked for the time being. Now, if we look here, let's see, this 20 stack could use, first of all, 2 more cavalry to round it out to 6. We want about 6 at this point in the game. 4, or how about 6 merc infantry? Yeah. And then, we're going to need about 4 more cannons as well. So let's get all these troops lined up here. Now, we do have a year before a war breaks out, so I'm going to kill maintenance so we make 60 ducats a month. Because obviously we need to make 60 ducats a month. And even though we're being attacked by natives, because we're Western and they're not, even at 0 maintenance we're just going to crush them. Who needs to pay for troops? Not this empire. Alright, let's get the Royal Army. Hooray! 10 prestige loss. Thanks, Republic! Alright. Like that the music is picking up. Just in time. We'll leave New Desmond alone. Wouldn't want to tax them too harshly. Now would be a good time to core some of the land that we have up in Scandinavia. However, I also just really want to get that first humanist idea, get that religious unity, help our country out just a little bit. Now the Royal Army, very close to arriving. There we go. Here's our, let's see, here's our grand army of 190,000 men. Let's see. Well, not all 190,000. Apparently this is the Army of Ireland. I disagree. Oh, right, of course, the new army. We can't just call it Third Army. No, 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 no. This is going to be the Army of Scandinavia. Even though we mostly recruited them in France, they will be bearing the banner of the Scandinavians. Get all of our troops into position here. Oh, hey! 100 natives in Chesapeake. Alright, let's raise army maintenance. We're making 8 ducats a month, currently, at full maintenance. Look at this glorious army. Oh, it's beautiful. Now, when does the, we have to wait till December. And Tuscany is managing to win the war. I think if we declare war, then we'll all get access and we can basically just dogpile the Spanish, which is ideal. Now, where's the... let's see, this is oh yes, the army of Desmond, of course. They need to be led by the best. Because they are the best. Now, do we put Augustus Cornwallis in an army? Maybe. He does have 3 maneuver, which would be quite nice for reducing attrition. Can we get a 4th leader? I think we can only have 3 leaders. Yes, we can only have 3 leaders. So, 3 generals is what we're going to have to stick with, which is fine. And we're going to wait until the diplomatic reputation stops being a pain, and then we're going to start this war. Now, how are Spain's allies feeling? Brandenburg is not interested in fighting a war, which means all we have to fight is Portugal. And hopefully, fingers crossed, once we get to the 5th of December, there we go. Well, first of all, one of our colonies finished, so, yeah, Baltimore finished. So I believe we need to send a, settler to Roanoke. Get some of these troops resituated. And now that the diplomatic reputation has gone away, we'll wait till the end of the month, and we will see who will join this war. Who would fight us? Who would fight the Spanish with us? Lubeck and the Netherlands would honor the call. The Ottomans, not so much. They're still 2,000 ducats in debt. Not really much we could help them with on that regard. We don't have enough money. And we need to keep a war chest anyway because we're about to fight a brutal war. Let's see. Now, speaking of which, what kind of... they have defensive 7, or they have, yeah, full defensive and offensive 5. And if we look at offensive, that means they're going to have the land leader shock, fire, recruitment time, and most importantly, they're going to have the siege speed, but not the discipline. We may actually have a discipline advantage. We're at 117% discipline, which could swing the tide of battle in our favor. But regardless, Brandenburg is not willing to join, which means that we will have the undivided attention of Lubeck and the Netherlands, who will be able to help us in this war. Now, the Ottomans may join in with us later. Hopefully they do. For the time being, that's obviously not going to happen. So without further ado, let us begin the First British-Spanish War, led by President Augustus Cornwallis, one of the first, actually the first major conflict fought by the Republic of Britain. Let's take a moment to contemplate, to think of the lives that are going to be lost in this campaign, and to think of the glory of empire, and to think of all the people back home, and all of the future British people, I would say. We are not conquerors. We are liberators. We are here to free the Spanish people from the oppression of the Catholic Church. We are here to save them from their own ignorance. And so, in the name of the Lord our God, and in the name of our mighty British Empire, let us embark upon a glorious conquest in the lands of Spain. And here we go. We're going to want a smaller stack on this province here in Béarn. Unfortunately, it only has a level 4 fort. So let's throw on Jonathan Button here onto that stack. And we'll throw Augustus Cornwallis onto this stack. And, yeah, let's begin. Move this army into Laborde. Now, the numbers are fairly even, except that we have 30,000 more artillery, which is usually a pretty good sign, I would say. Unfortunately, the Spanish fleet is quite formidable, and the Dutch fleet is nowhere to be found. We are going to have this army retreat once they get the chance, although it may be too late for our ships here. Yeah, very unfortunate. Now, where did the... Let's see, we have 16 heavy ships and 50 transports. The Spanish have a lot more than that, so we are outclassed in the Navy for once in our lives, ever. This is the first time this has happened. But nonetheless, we will begin sieging Spanish lands, and so far, no real resistance. We're going to plug a hole in the line here, if we can get there in time. Yeah, we are going to be able to get there in time. Let's slow things down just a little bit. That should get the Portuguese to back off, and they do. So now the Portuguese cannot escape, though they are in a mountainous province. The situation seems to be fine so far. The Dutch gathering their troops, and the Lubeckians also doing the same. Now this may cause the Spanish to prematurely, and this is hilarious, all of our African friends here hate the Spanish so much that they're actually giving us money to fight this war. I do find that quite humorous. The Ottomans, unfortunately, still not really interested in joining. Could we move this army? We could move it to Vizcaya. It's true, but I do like this this kind of plug we have here, kind of stopping them from going through. Now, what ideas do the Portuguese have? They have offensive 6, and that's the only military group that they have. So honestly, we probably have an advantage over them in that respect, especially like discipline-wise. All the same, we don't really want to attack them in the mountains. That is a foolish endeavor, to say the least. The Portuguese seem to be backing off. Whew, we haven't had a war this big in quite some time. Chesapeake has become self-sustaining, so we're going to start expanding inland. We'll go ahead and combine these troops. Trier, of course, being a loyal vassal, at least is being quite helpful in the war, even though he is not really fabricating claims. Let's see. He will arrive on the 9th of August? Alright. Alright, we will arrive on the same day. We'll wait a single day. They should be locked into movement now. Alright, let's see how well these Portuguese fight. The Portuguese only have 100% discipline versus our much larger 117% discipline, and as we can see, plenty more casualties. Look at that, look at that, look at that damage. Oh. 2,500, only losing about 1,000 ourselves. Portuguese taking massive casualties. Yeah, we killed, let's see, 14,000, 4,500, 2,500, so another 6,000. So we killed 20,000 and lost 8,000. Yeah, I consider that a pretty big victory overall over our enemies. Now, the real question here is going to be, how well do the Spanish fight? And in fact, of the casualties we took there, the majority of them were actually of our vassal. So, kind of speaks for itself there. Alright, we have broken through the mountain forts, and we will begin marching immediately. Alright, this army is attempting to escape. We obviously can't let them do that. Let's see how well these Spaniards fight. Alright, the Spanish do have about a 1 morale advantage over us. However, we do have a 7% discipline advantage, and thus a 0.2 tactics advantage. Now, this is a purely infantry stack. I don't expect them to put up that much of a fight, if I'm being honest. Yeah, they're going to take a lot of casualties. Still fighting pretty hard, admittedly, but yeah, not really in a great place for themselves. The Dutch went ahead and joined us. Not necessary, but appreciated nonetheless. And honestly, I think we're going to completely crush the Spanish here. And we get a comet, because why wouldn't we get a comet? Alright, let's go ahead and raise stability. If only we had comet sense, you know? It was on sale. Alright, Rosellón is now sieged. We're going to go take over Barcelona and Girona. And you know, this may be a fairly, like, not bloody war, actually. And I'm kind of excited about that. Let's go ahead and reactivate this fort here in Cahors, and we'll reactivate the one in Paris as well. And is the one in London active? No, we're going to activate that because we don't want them just taking it for free, though obviously our fleet is not in a position to defend our homeland even if we were able. But this is going to be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed this, and we are just... Well, we're in a really good position right now. This could be the game-defining moment, the final point in which we are just completely dominant in the world. And I'm really, really excited and happy about that. So, thank you for joining me, my fellow Britishmen, and I'll see you guys on the next one.